Hello everyone and welcome back to Southern Wealth. I hope you guys are doing very well. If you do enjoy the content, please consider dropping that like and subscribe. As you guys know, it greatly helps the channel, so thank you very much for your support. Now, I would like to discuss a few things today, namely on the current state of crypto, which I think is the most relevant one. I do think we are still quite early in the bull market, and I've said this before, but I haven't covered it enough. A Coinbase app in Google, in the Apple Store and Google Store is still number 300 or 275 or something. When you are in the middle of the high-flying craziness of the bull market, you're talking, number one spot. Okay, so that's when retail is here. So far, retail is not here. If you look at the previous cycles of Bitcoin, retail should be coming in for the first time somewhere between late summer, around August until November. That's the time period. And if we do repeat the cycle, the previous cycle, 2021, we would have a double altcoin bubble, which means we would have one in the beginning of 2025 and another one in late 2025. Will that be the case? Well, at the moment, it's almost impossible to say. It's anybody's guess. I am the opinion that most likely what's going to happen is the scenario that most people are not expecting. So in the beginning of, if you would go back in the beginning of the year, everyone was expecting the left translated cycle, meaning we would shot to the moon in 2024 and the cycle would end, let's say in December, and 2025 actually would be the bear market. Then there were people that were saying, okay, we're going to have kind of the same cycle, maybe with a little bit better price performance ahead of time due to the ETFs. And that was actually the lowest probability one. And then the second highest probability was a super cycle. We just go up brutally in 2024 and then 2025 and maybe even 2026. So basically we just go up. And so basically so how can I say this? Scenario one was the left translated cycle, which means we would have all the gains in 2024 and then we basically would ride out December 2024 or something would be out. The super cycle is left translated, but with continuation. So basically we just pump like crazy in the beginning and you would have a 2025 explosive. And then the other one was, okay, price is indeed a bit ahead of time, but we're still going to repeat the same fractal. So the same, altcoin season now to start in the next couple of months. And then that would last until late in the year. And then and potentially even Q1 2025, then a big sell-off during Q2, and then the last hoorah in Q3, Q4 2025. Of course, that one was the lowest probability, so it's the one that seems to be happening. So we're not having explosive moves to the upside. Although, you guys remember this, I did say the Ethereum ETF would be a buy the rumor, sell the news. So on the day of the approval, Ethereum touched 3,950, and basically we've been down ever since. Now we should be approaching the time where Ethereum starts to go up again, and that should be happening any second. What we are doing now is we are in this freaking consolidation phase in which Bitcoin and Ethereum barely move, so they get sandwiched into very, very narrow ranges, and then that's like a boiling pot. When the pot is full of water and it's boiling and compressing, and then you have the explosive move. Now, as you guys know, I have my lottery tickets, so Andy crossed the 250 million market cap and even got to as far as 300 million. So you guys know I got in at 1.5 million on that one. HOPPY over the weekend has been sandwiched between 1 million and 2 million forever, and this night it went to 20 million. I've warned about this forever, which is when you are in these narratives with meme coins, you can be sandwiched for like weeks and weeks and weeks, but one of these days you wake up and it's 20 million market cap, and now we had the 50% retracement to around 9-10 million, and hopefully we would continue to the next leg up. So I'm actually quite heavy on that one. So derivative theory, the the friends of Pepe theory on Ethereum continues to pay off for me. So my idea was, okay, Pepe did very well. Friends of Ethereum are doing very well in other chains like Base, like Solana. So my idea was, okay, but the ones on Ethereum, they are very low market cap. You're talking about 2 million or less. So I bought Andy at $1.5 million, which is now 250 million. I bought HOPPY at around $1 million, which is now 10 million. And it went as high as 20 million last night. And I also bought BIRDDOG, but the one with the 0x70. And the reason is it was the cheapest. So I was buying that coin around 400, 500K market cap, and it's now $1.5 million. And it seems to be wanting to break out. And I think, because Andy is 0x68, Pepe is 0x69, and BIRDDOG is 0x70. Now, there's another BIRDDOG on Ethereum worth around 8 million market cap. I don't know which one is going to succeed. It's a community token, so it will depend on the community, but having the ability to market the 0x70 next to Pepe as the real one carries a bit of weight. And the reason I got into it, to be honest, was, it was around 400, 500K market cap. My God, it was so cheap that, okay. So my theory is Pepe going up? Yes. Do I think Pepe stopped going up? I don't think so. I think Pepe has the potential to go to somewhere like 40 billion, 45 billion market cap, Dogecoin style in the previous cycle, which means all these plays should do very well. Now, what I'm looking at, because these things are extremely volatile and they can go to zero, that's why I call them lottery tickets. I put a little bit of money. Just with the money that I made on Andy, I already took out all the principal of the lottery tickets. So basically, I'm completely risk-free. That's why some of my lottery tickets go down 75%. I don't give two craps about it. That's the difference. When I don't go, like I've seen people putting like 100K in these things. I mean, okay, sure. But you need to understand that more likely than not, it's going to go to zero. That's it. So what I've been doing is I've been trying to catch some of these gems. I'm looking at another one, which is Zeus, also part of the Pepe friends, and also with the 0x71 address on Ethereum as well. So I always look at this on Ethereum. The reason is very simple. Base did very well. Solana was doing very well, and Ethereum was underperforming. So my idea is once the liquidity is coming to Ethereum, it will pump everything in Ethereum. Doesn't matter which coin it is, it will pump it because they're all liquidity bonded to each other. So I decided to pick the ones on Ethereum with very, very low market cap and drop a few $100 here and there and see what happens. So Handy has already paid off very handsomely. Hoppy is doing very well. FOTTIE is doing, more or less. And BIRDDOG is now starting to also jump quite a bit. And I hope that continues. So my thesis is very simple. Pepe will do very well. These coins are leverage plays on Pepe. As long as Pepe continues to go up, it's great. And then I only care about two things. Are the Telegram users going up? Yes or no? Are the holders going up? Yes or no? If the holders are going up, by Metcalfe's law, price goes up. Example, I went to Andy when the holders was around 1,200 people. And now it's 15,000 people. So that's about 10 point something X of the users, right? So 10X the users, 100 plus the price, 10 squared. When Shiba Inu went up 1.4 million X in the last cycle, what happened? The user base went from 1,000 people to 1 million people. So the user base went up 1,000X. So price went up 1 million X, which is 1,000 squared. That is called Metcalfe's law. Okay, so that's how I look at it. What I'm also starting to do is to rotate some of the profits in the lottery tickets into the core coins, so into Plsx, Hydron, and Icosa in particular. I stopped buying X for the moment because I do believe that Hydron and Icosa are leverage plays on X, which means if X goes up 10X, I do expect these to go up 50X. but they can also go to zero. Their liquidity is lower, so maybe I cannot cash out. There's a lot of variables, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. I do believe that Pulse Chain is entering this bottoming phase, this rounding, boring bottom, where pretty much everybody has given up. We've had 13 weekly candles red, and as people say, that's an example of of how the coin is dead, and I say, oh great, so it's dead. Great, that's when I like it. So I'm also starting to accumulate the core coins as well. But I do understand, and I do have this in mind, that Pulse Chain, Plsx, Hedron, Icosa, X, they are all cycle 2 narratives, which means they run at the end of the bull market or closer to the end. Not necessarily the end, but be close. And when I say run, that doesn't mean that Pulse Chain cannot do a 5x or a 6x. I think it can. What I'm talking about is the real mind-blowing 10x in a week kind of stuff. That is closer to the end of the bull market, and I would give it 75% chance of that happening. Does that mean it's going to happen? No. What am I doing here? I am going through the process in my mind that convinces me if I'm on the right path or on the wrong path, or helps clarify my mind. And I always think, has Trump been elected? No. By the way, did you see Biden vetoing a friendly crypto regulation on Friday, hoping that nobody would notice? He vetoed it. It means he rejected it. So these are the Democrats. See, they will pretend to be crypto friendly, but as soon as the word custody is thrown around, all of a sudden they reject it immediately. But that's a part. Has Trump been elected? No. Are we printing money again? No. Yes, we are printing money, but not to the extremes that we're hoping. Are rates high? Yes. Are there still conflicts in the world? Yes. So that tells me that we still have a lot to go. So I think 2025, don't get lost into the details, and I will do very, very well, I hope. Am I incentivizing you to copy me? No. Am I incentivizing you to trade or do anything like me? No. I am just being as transparent and honest as I can, and this is what I'm doing. And let's see if I was right, if I was wrong. You guys, as you know, I disclose everything, my positions, points of entry, points of exit. You all know about it. I never make a secret of it, and I talk about the coins before they run. I've been talking about BIRDDOG. It was 400K, 500K, 600K market cap, something like that. And finally, GameStop and AMC are starting to pump again. Apparently, our friend Deep Fucking Value bought a Roaring Kitty, right? He bought 120,000 calls on GameStop. I wish him all the best. As I mentioned before with the meme stocks, it's very important, particularly this one, because these ones have a lot of community members with what is called PTSD from the bear market. I mean, AMC is 50 cents. It used to be $73. Now you say, oh, but I see $5. Yes, but there was a 1-for-10 reverse stock split, right? So you lost 90% of the shares. So 90%, so $5 times 10%, that's 50 cents. So people who bought into it are completely annihilated. And the community members which are left, they remember it. So they will say, not this time. This time, if this thing starts to run seriously, I will just take profits. What I'm trying to say is, will those stocks keep going higher? It's possible. But understand that on the other side, you have thousands of people with very bad experiences and PTSD coming from the last bear market that may be happy, after a 2x to cash out their profits. Just keep that in mind. You guys do whatever you want to do. I'm not a fan of those games, because those games, very few people win and a lot of people lose. And those are not the odds that I like. I like to buy things which are cheap, sell them when they're expensive, keep a simple trajectory, look at the broader cycles, and go from there. And with that, guys, thank you very much for your support, and I'll catch you in the next one.